The Chicago Bears are officially entering a new era. And if there was any doubt about that, just take one look at the questions surrounding Caleb Williams and how this coaching staff plans to approach the preseason. Because let's be honest, here, when you draft a quarterback come first overall, the spotlight never leaves. Every snap, every throw, every huddle matters. But should Caleb actually play in the preseason? Or would the Bears be better off bubble wrapping their new franchise? Quarterback until week 1? Now look, I get it. Preseason doesn't matter for the record books. No one's hanging a banner for a perfect preseason. But for a rookie quarterback learning a brand new offense in a league that's faster, more complex, and infinitely more punishing than college football, those snaps can be everything. So yeah, the answer is yes. Caleb should play. Not the whole game, not 4 quarters, but enough to feel real. Enough to matter. I'm talking 6 drives minimum. Spread them out across the 3 preseason games, maybe 2 drives per game. Or if you want to use one of those games as more of a dress rehearsal, go ahead and give him 4 drives in that one, then a couple light ones in the others. Whatever the breakdown is, the point is clear. Get him reps. And don't let anyone fool. You with the joint practices are enough argument. They're valuable, sure, but they're not the same as going live inside a packed stadium. We saw it at FanFest. Things looked clunky. The operation wasn't crisp. Plays were coming in them. Late, the timing was off. And this was inside Soldier Field, where they'll be playing on Sundays. So if the lights are already a little too bright in a glorified open practice, you can bet that the real thing won't be any easier unless you take those reps now. Ben Johnson, who's calling plays for the first time with Caleb, admitted it himself. He said the offense wasn't as smooth as they expected. That matters because preseason is more than just evaluation. It's about ironing out the kinks. It's about getting to playing, seeing how your quarterback responds, watching how the Aichi offense gets to the line, how they adjust, how they react to motion, to pressure, to noise. Even if the plays are vanilla, simple slants, tosses, quick screens, it's the operation that matters. The stuff no one notices when it's working, and everyone points fingers at when it's not. And look, you don't have to go full throttle here. You're not game planning for wins. You're not showing your hand. But you are setting the foundation. You want Caleb to get in and out of the huddle cleanly. You want him to hear Ben Johnson in his ear and respond. You want him to get to the line, see the defense, maybe audible once or twice. Just to build that muscle memory. These things become automatic in October, but they don't just magically happen. You train them in August. So yeah, play the kid. And not just Caleb, play the starters, at least for a series or 2, especially in the first and second preseason. Games! Let them feel that rhythm, that real game speed. Because come week 1, there won't be any warm-ups. It's go time. And if the operation is sloppy, you're putting your young quarterback in a tough spot. Now, speaking of tough spots, let's talk about this Micah Parsons rumor. Look, let's not get ahead of ourselves. But the idea that Dallas might trade Micah at all? That's already wild. That guy is a generational talent, and unless things go completely sideways in camp or the early season, I just don't see the Cowboys pulling that trigger. But hey, if it did happen, you know they're not sending him to a division rival. That's the one line no front office ever wants to cross. But what about the NFC North? That gets a little more interesting. Technically, it's not off limits. If a team in the North blows Dallas away with a package they can't refuse, say, 2 firsts and a player, it would be hard to walk away from that. But let's be real. Dallas is not in rebuild mode. They're not tanking. They're not punting on the year. They still think they can win now. So unless something major shifts, I wouldn't expect Micah to go anywhere. And if he does, my guess is it's to the AFC. Probably a team that offers similar value without the threat of seeing him twice a year. Now let's bring it back to the Bears. Ozzy Trapilo, remember the name. Because if this kid keeps doing what he's doing, in camp, he might just win the starting job at left tackle. And that would be huge. Not just because of what it means for this year, but for the long-term future of the offensive line. Rookie contract, 4-year window, control over one of the most premium positions in football. That's the kind of roster advantage front offices dream about. And from all reports, Ozzy is in the lead. He's taking the first team reps. He's holding his own. If he keeps it up and wins the job fair and square, that's a massive win for the Bears. Because it means they nailed the draft pick and it gives them flexibility to use resources elsewhere. Now, of course, if Braxton Jones or someone else truly outplays him, then you go with a better player. But as of now, the momentum is with Trapilo, and if he locks it down before the season kicks off, the Bears just found their blindside protector. For Caleb at a rookie contract price. While we're on roster battles, let's talk receivers. J.P. Richardson is turning heads in camp. And you know who we haven't heard a peep about? Tyler Scott. Not a single buzz, no highlights, no reports, no social clips. It's like he disappeared, and that's not good. Because when it comes to back-end roster spots, silence is deadly. You want noise. You want someone saying, hey, look at this catch. Or Tyler Scott just toasted a DB. Instead, it's been all Richardson. And from what we're hearing, he's ahead of Scott. Maybe even behind Deon Duvernay and Miles Boykin, too. So let's do the math. If the top 4 receiver spots are locked, DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, Luther Burden, and Olamide is a case, then you've only got room for maybe 2 more. Let's say they keep 6. You'd want one of those spots to go to your primary return man. That's probably Duvernay. Then you got 1 more. And right now, it feels like Richardson is pushing hard for it. The kid was a dynamic returner. In college, too. So if he can prove himself in preseason, especially on special teams, he might leapfrog everyone. And if he does, that could spell the end for Tyler Scott in Chicago. And speaking of surprises out of the backfield, how about DJ Moore getting carries like a running back? Now, some folks might raise an eyebrow and wonder, does that mean the Bears are worried about DeAndre Swift? I don't think so. I think it's more about creativity than concern. You're not lining up DJ back there on every down, but when you do, it causes confusion. Defenses have to respect it. Is it a jet sweep, a fake, a screen, an angle route? Suddenly the defense is adjusting, shifting, reacting, and that's where the offense can strike. And it works because DJ Moore is that kind of player. Physical, explosive, tough to tackle. He's shown he can take a handoff between the tackles and make something out of nothing. We saw it at FanFest. Straight handoff, right up the gut, touchdown. 10 yards like it was nothing. And once you add motion and misdirection to that mix, it becomes a nightmare for defenses. Especially when Swift is also a legit receiving threat. It's not about replacing your running back. It's about adding weapons to your toolbox. And DJ Moore is a pretty damn powerful tool. Now while everyone will be watching Caleb in the preseason, and rightfully so, keep an eye on the depth guys, the fringe players, the ones fighting for a jersey, because this is where the roster gets made. Guys like Kyle Monangai, who could be a sneaky contributor out of the backfield, or Ruben Hippolyte on defense, who's been flashing in camp. These are the names that pop during those second and third quarters when the starters are long gone, and sometimes they make enough noise to stick. And don't forget the trenches. Someone like Kiran Amegaji. Can he show he belongs? Can he hold his own when the lights are on? Or what about Naquan Wright, who's had a quietly strong camp? This is their time. The preseason isn't just a warm-up for the stars. It's a job interview for the rest. And those margins, those battles for roster spot 52 and 53, they matter. Now, while the top names get all the attention, and rightfully so, every NFL team knows their season can turn on the guys nobody's talking about in August. Those fringe players, undrafted rookies, and third stringers fighting for a roster spot are more important than most fans realize. And when you're the Chicago Bears, building around a rookie quarterback and trying to establish a new identity on both sides of the ball, those final 10 spots on the roster matter just as much as the first 10. That's why these preseason games aren't just about Caleb Williams. Yeah, he's the face of the franchise now, and every snap he takes is going to be analyzed under a microscope. But what about the guys protecting him? What about the receivers trying to earn his trust? What about the rotational defenders who will be tasked with getting crucial third down stops in November? This is their shot. This is where they prove they belong, or they vanish into the league's endless churn of roster cuts and practice squad contracts. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy, drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The NFL world has been shaken by a significant trade between the Chicago Bears and the Cleveland Browns, which was officially confirmed this week. The Bears have secured Myles Garrett, a dominant defensive end widely regarded as one of the league's most impactful pass rushers. Garrett, known for his explosive speed, relentless pursuit of quarterbacks, and ability to disrupt offenses, is expected to dramatically elevate the Bears' defense. This trade comes after extensive negotiations, with the Browns agreeing to part ways with Garrett in exchange for multiple draft picks and players, signaling a major shift in their roster strategy. The move has generated considerable buzz among analysts, fans, and insiders who recognize the potential for Garrett to transform Chicago's defensive line into a fearsome unit capable of challenging the NFL's elite offenses. This trade marks a critical moment for the Bears, who have been rebuilding and seeking a star defensive presence to anchor their squad. For Cleveland, the decision to trade away a franchise cornerstone underscores their willingness to recalibrate and invest in a broader long-term vision through the draft and player development. Myles Garrett's arrival in Chicago is not only a strategic acquisition, but also a statement of intent from the Bears front office. Known for his ability to dominate games with his physicality and technique, Garrett's presence immediately boosts the Bears' pass rush, which had been an area of weakness in previous seasons. His versatility allows him to line up across from the defensive tackle or edge rush in various defensive schemes, making the Bears' defense more unpredictable and difficult for opponents to prepare against. Beyond his on-field talents, Garrett's leadership and work ethic have been praised by teammates and coaches alike, adding intangible value to the locker room culture. The trade is seen as a catalyst for a possible turnaround in Chicago's fortunes, with expectations high for Garrett to lead the defense and contribute significantly to playoff aspirations. Meanwhile, the Browns' decision to trade Garrett has sparked debate, as some question whether the loss of such a talent will hamper their defensive effectiveness in the short term, despite the potential benefits gained from the trade assets received. The Browns' motivations behind the trade reflect a broader strategic recalibration within their organization. By moving Garrett, they appear to be prioritizing roster flexibility and future building blocks, opting to accumulate draft capital and young talent to strengthen various positions. This approach aligns with a growing trend among NFL teams to embrace long-term sustainability over immediate star power, particularly in a league where salary caps and contract management are critical to success. The Browns management is betting that the combination of acquired assets and emerging players can compensate for the loss of Garrett's elite pass rushing skills. Analysts note that this trade may free up salary cap space, allowing Cleveland to invest in other key areas such as offensive weapons or the offensive line, which have been focal points for improvement. However, the decision also comes with risks, as replacing a player of Garrett's caliber is challenging, and the defense may initially struggle to maintain the same level of pressure on opposing quarterbacks. The Browns' future performance will hinge on how effectively their coaching staff integrates new pieces and adjusts the defensive scheme post-trade. From a broader NFL perspective, this trade underscores the increasing emphasis teams place on elite pass rushers and the significant impact such players have on the outcome of games. Myles Garrett's stature as one of the premier defensive talents elevates the overall competitiveness of the league, as acquiring such a player can immediately shift the balance of power within a division or conference. The Bears, by securing Garrett, join an elite group of teams boasting disruptive defensive linemen who can alter offensive game plans and create turnovers. This trade also highlights the dynamic nature of roster building in today's NFL, where teams are more willing to make bold moves to address specific weaknesses or capitalize on unique opportunities. The Bears' aggressive pursuit of Garrett signals a no-compromise approach to improving their defense and making a strong push for postseason relevance. Fans and commentators will be watching closely to see how Garrett adapts to his new environment and whether this move sparks a broader resurgence for the Chicago franchise, which has struggled in recent years to find consistent success. In conclusion, the confirmed trade between the Chicago Bears and the Cleveland Browns involving Myles Garrett represents a landmark moment for both franchises and the NFL as a whole. For the Bears, acquiring Garrett offers a chance to dramatically upgrade their defensive front and build around a transcendent talent capable of changing the trajectory of games. For the Browns, the move reflects a strategic pivot towards long-term roster construction and financial management, with hopes that the assets gained will lead to sustained success. This trade exemplifies the complexities and strategic depth of NFL team management, where balancing star power with future potential is a constant challenge. As the upcoming season approaches, the impact of this trade will be closely scrutinized by fans, media, and league insiders, all eager to see if Myles Garrett's presence in Chicago can indeed become the cornerstone of a competitive and formidable Bears defense. The ripple effects of this deal will likely influence roster decisions and trade strategies across the league, emphasizing the value of elite defensive playmakers in the modern NFL landscape. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.